All right, we're getting more details concerning the House Intel Chair, Devin Nunes. Remember that meeting at the White House last week with the president? Well, now a source is telling us that while there, he wanted a proximity to a secure location where he could view the information provided by this source that said that Donald Trump was among those whom intel was being gathered up. The chairman is extremely concerned by the possible improper unmasking of names of U.S. citizens, and he began looking into this issue even before President Trump tweeted his assertion that the Trump Tower had been wiretapped. So much going on here ahead of what tomorrow will be a closed-door briefing featuring not only James Comey, but the NSA director as well. I want to get the read from all of this with the former Intel Committee Chair, Pete Hoekstra. Chairman, what do you think of this and what we're about or able to learn?
Well, I think tomorrow is going to be fascinating. Will the members of the committee all have seen the same materials that the chairman has seen, or will they not? Will the chairman be in a position where he's got more information than what his members have? But what do you make of it? It's a big deal, Neil, because what this does is it gets to the heart of the intelligence community. Was there inappropriate distribution of materials to the White House or other places, primarily for political purposes? It destroys the trust between the intelligence community and the American people.
You know, it's still going on now, but Democrats are going to focus on the role that Trump folks might have played with the Russians and vice versa before the election and maybe post the election. Republicans are going to focus on whether in part of that roundup of intelligence and surveilling it included, and the net widened to include no less than Mr. Trump himself. Where is this going, Chairman? What do you think?
Well, again, I've not seen the documents. I've seen the speculation of what's in the documents. And, I think here's where I think it's going to go, Neil. If these documents do not contain classified national security interests, I think ultimately they are going to be declassified. Then we're all going to want to read them. And if they don't include national security information, then the question will be, why and how did these things get into the White House? And I think that's why the chairman was so concerned about that, because it's like he's looking at this stuff and he's reading it and saying, there's nothing here from a national security standpoint. What's this stuff doing in the White House? And if that becomes the narrative, forget about the Russia story, forget about the leak story. I think the leak story is still very, very important, but forget about the Russia story. This is going to be about how did this information get into the White House and those types of things, and it's going to be, that will be the central story moving forward.
Congressman, do you think that Congressman Nunes should, though, have alerted committee members, or at least his ranking member, that he was going to do this, or that the two of them could have gone over to the White House to allay these fears that he was being overtly political and doing a favor for the president?
I'm not really that worried about the process. I was the chairman. I was the ranking member of that committee. I learned when I was the chairman. I made the call on those types of things. When I was the ranking member and the Democrats had the chairmanship, guess what? They taught me the same thing. They were the chairman. I was the ranking member. They made the call, and I didn't. I'm fine with what Devin did. Briefing the commander-in-chief is exactly what he should do. If he believes there might have been wrongdoing in the executive agencies that administer our national security programs that work for the president.
I know it's a little bit different, Chairman, but just your final thoughts on Donald Trump saying last week that this kind of indicated, I'm paraphrasing here, his view that he was being spied on by the prior administration. Others have said, well, that's a very big difference than the president of the United States, the prior one, Barack Obama, tapping your phones. What do you think?
I think the president has a very good possibility of being proven much more right than wrong. He may have got the technical language incorrect, but let's say he was in the right neighborhood. He maybe stopped at the wrong house, but the house that he was referencing was the one right next door. I think you're going to find out that he was very, very close to being accurate.
All right. Well, this one's a big house. It's like a big White House. All right.
All right.
Chairman, thank you very much.
Thank
Good seeing
you
again.